the gentleman with title book, his lordship was talking about the largest dry dock in Belfast. Enormous gantries, a dry dock built for a ship that hadn't even been built yet.
The footman here in service accused of himself, James.
Sorry, Mr. Harrison. They didn't say anything precise. I was merely speculating.
You may have speculated more accurately than you realised.
I did?
I, of course, was privileged to accompany the gentleman to the smoking room. They are indeed proposing a new generation of ocean liners.
Worked in Belfast. My dad got me the start. Then my brothers after me. You could hear the noise from where we lived, but nothing compared to for the size of the place. They put me to work in 401. That's what we called her. We knew she'd be the largest passenger ship in the world, but we didn't call her Titanic then. I was there from the beginning. I watched the ship race through the keel blocks. They set big wooden blocks on the slipway to start with, then the keel at top of it, like a backbone, and the frames attached to that, like a skeleton. Workshops everywhere. It took weeks to find your way around. There'd be workshops for every trade you ever heard of. Painters, sailmakers, coppersmiths, boiler makers, cabinet makers. I even learned a bit about French polishing off them. Harlowers was a fine place to work, but dangerous. Every ship cost a life, and there'd be lots of injuries besides. I was in the engine works for a while. Very well equipped it was. That's where we built the triple expansion engines. 2 of them, each as high as a 3-storey house. I worked in the frame bending shop. You'd heat steel beams in the furnace, then hook them onto slabs of cast iron, and hammer them curved. It was skilled work. You had to bend them more than you needed, because the frame straightened out a little when it cooled. The shell plates that made up the hull weighed up to 4.5 tons. They were taller than the da. The plates were overlapped on the edges. Some were raised, one after another. We called it clincher. One of the foremen taught me years ago. That's how you built steel ships. I worked as a heater boy. You had to heat the rivets on a wee plate. You pumped the bellows till the rivet was white hot. Then you get a hold of it with your tongs and throw it up to the catcher. And he'd put it in the hole in the plate with the holder up. There were 2 of us on the other side of the plate with the holder up. We had to hammer the rivet so it filled the hole before it turned dull red. The double bottom. That's a wee space we called the tanks, made up of steel plates. The rest of the rivet squad all had to fit into that gap. One of the foremen would check each rivet with a special hammer. If it made a ringing sound, we'd have to go back and chase it out afterward. I'd get scared working down in that double bottom. You only had candles for light. And the constant hammering against the shell plates. You could hear it all over Belfast. Some of those boys ended up stone deaf, so they did. We were paid 31 bob a week. The heater boy and catcher got 16 bob. But we all worked the same 54 hours. The upper deck was steel too, and part of the strength of the ship. There's no straight lines in a ship, and when you look down the weather deck, you could see the shear of the hull, but stopped her flexion at sea. The stern frame had to be strong enough to take the rudder turning in heavy seas. You'd have all these timbers and guy wires to steady the frame, and men scurrying around like ants underneath. When we came to launch day, I was torn between pride and fear. The standing ways were coated in tallow, train oil and soft soap, so the ship would slide when they shifted her weight off the blocks. That was the most dangerous part. When the shipwrights were knocking away the last props, they were under compression, you see, and the sliding ways would be released by the hydraulic trigger. 100,000 people watched the launch. Some paid a bob to sit in the reserved seating. There were extra trams laid on. Then we all went off to the pub to wish her well.
Decks were mostly leaded and were secured to the city trading by bolts. They were running lengthways and left the center line.
The hammering, removing the keel blocks. Just with it, John. Right, boys. Come on, keep hammering. Take down the room out. It's good, you're right. Go, boys. The bottle rocket. That one is Mr. Key.
Stand clear. No champagne.
Wow. That was where Titanic was? Crazy.
She was preceded by a considerable weight of expectation. At Southampton, the White Star Line had already constructed the massive deep-water ocean dock. Titanic's launch in May 1911 was watched by an estimated 100,000 people. Almost a year of the outflow, transforming the massive hull into the sumptuously accompanied liner described by the White Star Line as the Queen of the Ocean. By March 1912, Titanic was ready for a maiden voyage. For Belfast, the triumphant coronation of many years' time in England. Before she could be handed over, Titanic had to undergo sea trials. The 2nd April 1912, she carried out a series of maneuvers in open water under the watchful eye of the old Imperial Sculptor Francis I. Then, at 8 p.m. that evening, she found Belfast on a silent deck. The industry had considerable records of the sea. In Southampton, the White Star Line already constructed a massive deep-water ocean dock, almost 60 meters and dredged to a depth of 40 feet. England turned their passenger port was furnished with new shops, restaurants, and businesses open to service the growing passenger trade. And job opportunities were rich and in docks brought migrants from all over Britain and Ireland. Almost 400 of them crew lived in Southampton's northern district, and which were produced 40,000 eggs, 1,000 sweetbreads, and 8,000 cigars. At 7 a.m., Captain Edward Johnson had cleaned aboard the Titanic to prepare for...
It would be stored flat on the deck. Something's fallen across that one. That's the foremast. It's incredible how it's just still preserved. Just 100 years later. Another hatch. So I've turned now to track down the foremast.